history of Blue Origin and SpaceX lawsuits. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. Howdy, gang. Oh, what a week it's been. What a week it has been. Oh, let's just get started, huh? So there's this fellow on Twitter you may have heard of, named Elon Musk. He is a somewhat of a space guy. Christian Davenport tweeted, "Another front in a growing rivalry, Amazon urges FCC to deny SpaceX's plan for second-generation Starlink." It's a little more complicated than that, but that Elon fella responded, "Turns out Bezos retired in order to pursue a full-time job, filing lawsuits against SpaceX." Yeah, I believe that's entirely correct. Yeah, there we are. So that's good times. That's hard to argue with. So let's look at some of the lawsuits, shall we? Oh, and there's a plenty. Going back to 2004, SpaceX fighting for USAF launches. Now, they weren't a big company. The Falcon 9 wasn't even going yet, but they were really pushing hard. And it was their opinion that the way the projects were being bid made it quite literally impossible for them to get a foothold in the rocketry industry. And federal regulators reviewed it. And without that lawsuit, it could have been curtains. And NASA and the government generally has a habit of just kind of supporting everybody because more launch providers is better than fewer launch providers, especially with how uncertain things were, especially at that time. 2013, launch pad madness. One of you clever robots mentioned this in the pre-show chat. Yes, Amazon founder, right here, Jeff Bezos, space company loses challenge over NASA launch pad. Yeah, he wanted the launch pad. He wanted it. And I mean, I can't blame him, but here we are, a decade later, he's no closer to orbital launch. He's no closer to orbital launch. And the Government Accountability Office, which arbitrates federal contract disputes, agreed. You don't need a launch pad. Let's leave that to the big boys, the ones who are actually launching. By the way, I'm doing some extra buffering this week, so hopefully we don't cut out. Let me know if you have any problems with that, and we can try some other stuff. 2014, SpaceX sues the Air Force over launch contract. And once again, they're right back at it saying, hey man, United Launch Alliance is getting all this business in a no-bid fashion. I can do it cheaper. You got to at least let me bid on it. You got to at least let me try. And at this point, SpaceX had already been doing private satellites, NASA cargo. Why not do more? And he also pointed out that ULA's rockets use Russian parts, which may prove problematic as tensions escalate over the situation in Ukraine, among other things. So we're doing pretty good there. SpaceX drops lawsuit against the United States Air Force. I'm going to jump over to this, make sure I'm not screwing anything up. Basically, the Air Force agreed to change the way they do their bidding. So they didn't have to endure legal challenges or anything like that. So that's, helpful. Yeah. 2014. I think I can move this over a little. Sierra Nevada sues to stop the crew mission systems. So who on earth is that? Sierra Nevada. Boy, I had to Google them to see who they were. Yeah, they are not what I would call an industry leader, and they weren't then either. Hey, Halter, Ferguson, Bradley, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. So this is very exciting stuff. They sued to say, you have to stop work immediately, and they did stop work. They stopped work as requested, and then 2 weeks later, on September 26th, on October 9th, they're like, yeah, you know what, keep going. You've already got a cargo dragon, a crew dragon, is going to be a lot quicker than waiting for Sierra Nevada to become a real company. 2015, this is my favorite one, the rocket landing patent. Yes, Jeff Bezos, of course, said, no, no, no. I invented it. See, here's a drawing I made of a little rocket. It goes pew, pew, and then it lands on this little paper hat that's turned upside down in the water. And, of course, SpaceX countered that this was, what did he say? Old hat by 2009. And was it really? Was it really that well established? Well, let's take a look at this little video here from 1959, a Soviet film called, I don't remember the name. Oh, The Sky Calls. And oh, look at that. How similar. I'm sorry, Jeff, you didn't patent that. You didn't patent that. It's very cool. It's very cool. But, I mean, come on, man. 2018, Blue Origin sues over Air Force contract. Are we just playing the greatest hits at this point? Yeah, kind of, because the Air Force, I guess, does things in a way that are kind of difficult for competitors to deal with. Government Accountability Office sides with Blue Origin in a dispute over how contracts are processed. So that's a win for Blue Origin. And again, we really want all these people to succeed. We really want all of them to succeed. The more the better, I say. And, Blue Origin wants Air Force to consider its yet-to-be-built New Glenn rocket. Now, for those who don't remember, the New Glenn is, the size of Starship with the booster. And not only has nothing like that ever flown, they still haven't gotten to orbit. So this is ambitious. 2019, SpaceX sues over Air Force contract. Hey, if you got the hits, play the hits. Just do a cover. Everybody loves a good cover. This is not a good cover. SpaceX sues the government over $2 billion in rocket contracts. Yeah. So, yeah. The problem with United Launch Alliance is they cost 2 to 3 times as much for the same service. And they do that because they've never had to be nimble. They've never had to be affordable. And for the longest time, for 20 years now plus, they've had no competition. So the fact that Blue Origin, $500 million, I mean, that's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot, man. 2019, Blue Origin wins Air Force launch dispute. Yes, of course. So they did win that dispute, which again, great for everybody. Now, kind of what I'm saying here is that lawsuits can be silly at times, but not always. And sometimes they serve valid purposes, and sometimes less valid. 2020, astronomers threatened to sue SpaceX. You might remember this one. It was over Starlink and being able to see the night sky with an extra 5 to 50,000 satellites in low Earth orbit. And it's valid concerns. It never came to any legal action because SpaceX voluntarily agreed to try out some new, less reflective coatings that would allow them to create less interference in the night sky. So that's kind of a win-win for everybody. This is a new one. Viasat loses challenge to SpaceX. This is real recent. Yeah. Viasat desperately wants SpaceX to stop launching because it's going to kill them. It's going to absolutely kill them. And again, competition's healthy, but I don't know, man. It's tough to force competition. It's tough to arbitrate competition in something as difficult as space. It's a very, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a very large place. Blue Origin cries foul over Artemis mission. How could you miss this one? Blue Origin lawsuit halts NASA's Artemis work with SpaceX. So their contention is valid. NASA asked for planned to build two competing lunar landers. And in the end, only awarded one. But that's because the lowest bidder was still higher than the entire contract award amount. So that makes it tough, It makes it tough to award two when the contract was like $2 billion and the bottom two bidders would have been Blue Origin and SpaceX for a total of something like $6 billion. So that's tough. That's tough. And so Jeff went back and said, I tell you what, how about I agree to cover the first $2 billion if you just go ahead? So it's on hold. I don't think Blue Origin is going to have any chance of meeting the deadlines. A backup would be nice, but he's saying, Blue Origin is saying, the SpaceX system is unproven. So's yours. Yours is more unproven. And the big dogs did not make competitive bids. They did not make serious attempts to compete. A $2 billion contract to get to the moon is ludicrous. It was $10 billion the first time, and that was, in 1969. So, and adjusted for inflation, that'd be, 80 billion, 100 billion? You're offering 2% of the money, and you have a more ambitious scope. That's tough. I wouldn't, as a comfortable company, I also would not be excited about offering all that. 2021, the recent one, the one from, today, the Starlink, not a lawsuit. Yes, Elon Musk says Jeff Bezos retired in order to pursue a full-time job filing lawsuits against SpaceX. And it's misspelled there. It should be Bezos because that's how Elon spelled it. And I assume that's right because it's funny. It's not without merit. The lawsuit is not without merit. SpaceX submitted two mutually exclusive plans. And SpaceX was saying, well, it's a standard and a backup. And Blue Origin is saying, no. You have to have, it has to be a part of a single project. And I don't know if that's legally the case, but I believe that they would not bring a suit on that basis if it weren't the case. So that's kind of the history. I'm sure I'm missing bunches, but just for kind of added fun, I found this great infographic that shows just how petty Blue Origin can be. When they were saying that the New Shepard experience is better than Virgin Galactic, they came up with this handy dandy chart. Well, does it fly above the Kármán line? Yes. No. It's okay, 80 kilometers, 100 kilometers. You're going to get weightlessness either way, but all right. Vehicle type, rocket, high altitude airplane. Well, if we're being honest, it's a high altitude rocket plane. It is a different experience, but I guess it depends what you're looking for. Windows, largest windows in space versus airplane-sized windows. This didn't feel right, so let's take a look. That's it. There's your 4 windows, and it's actually 6 because you can see you 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the sides. But this is what you get with Virgin Galactic. Honestly, I think this is cooler. You get a much more interesting view. What do you guys think? Which one's cooler? This guy or this guy? I don't know. I think the windows are big enough. My eyes are very small. Normal size. They're normal sized. So we've got escape system. Yes. No. Well, yes and no. Your escape system is still a rocket. I mean, it is a backup, but I don't know. I think I would probably be more comfortable on a Blue Origin type system with an escape system, with a tower escape, that's not a tower, but with a rocket escape system. But I don't know. Ozone layer impact. I had to look this one up. Exhaust is water with minimal impact. The Virgin Galactic hybrid rocket engine with HTPB and nitrous oxide 100 times more harmful. So I looked up the material data safety sheet. HTPB, not super harmful. Nitrous oxide, it's 100 times more harmful than water. I don't know. I don't think that's... And of course, flight history, 15 safe flights versus only 3. Well, I would argue that this should be replaced with crewed flights. How many flights had a crew? And this is now, well, when was this made? July 9th. Anyway, this is what, 3 or 4 crewed missions versus 1. So, I mean, it's just petty. It's just petty and silly. You're going after different markets. Virgin Galactic is probably a quarter of the price of a flight on Blue Origin, I would guess. So, I don't know, different stuff. So let's take a look at the comments and see what we're missing. Yeah, SpaceX has sued NASA and DoD. Yep. No, they get... Not if they get Starship to work. No one has anything close. If Starship works, it'll be a monster. It'll be a true monster. I am very excited to see the full stack launched. Boy, I am nervous about it, if I'm being honest. Without Starship, New Glenn would actually be impressive if it flies. No, even with Starship, New Glenn would absolutely be impressive. If the Russians came out with a new N1 rocket that looked like the old Saturn V, that would still be impressive. And by the way, it annoys me that somehow makes it onto all the charts of biggest rockets when it never flew. I mean, unless you count the 2 times it flew apart. That's not flight. That's not flight. Let's take a look. What's up? Run the numbers. Thank you for the translation on kisses. Bezos means, yes, besame mucho. Yes, I know that song. Good. Halter Ferguson Financial, love the Q&As. You do, and when you respond to comments, your answers are fair. I try to be fair. But it's easy, I think, because I like the stuff I'm talking about. And, I've owned an electric car, and it wasn't a Tesla, and the one I had was genuinely terrible, and I loved it. 2008 Zen Electric, if you want to look it up. It's disappointing. Let's see. New Glenn is a lot smaller than Starship. Slightly bigger than Falcon Heavy. Okay, I'll believe you. I haven't seen recent renderings, so I don't know. Whenever I look them up, you find the most popular ones from when they first came out, usually. Thank you for the comment on the nice research. Yeah, I spent kind of all day on it, and I had fun. Dimensions, yes. Good evening. I think Blue Origin will. I don't like the idea of giving Jeff Who any money. Yeah, me either, but, kind of impossible. Hey, Brian Rashetsky, how you doing? Good to see you. Brian Rashetsky does some really fun drone videos that go not just at Giga Texas, but around the area. It offers good perspective. Jeff Krupke said, I think Blue Origin will go out of business in a few years. I don't. This is Jeff's passion project, and he has a few dollars handy to make it work, I believe. Too small to float around in. I don't know which one you mean, but I would disagree on both cases. They both look quite small in gravity, but out of gravity, the space becomes cubic, and it looks a lot bigger once they're weightless. Wait until SpaceX does theirs next month. Days in orbit and a huge dome. Oh, it's so exciting. But Blue Origin has Rivian pickups at their launches. They do. And actually, when I saw them, when they did the capsule test, I think, and there were 2 Rivians out there. I was excited about that because that's real world, kind of high stakes testing. I mean, if they fail in that environment, it's going to cause a problem. Yeah, safe flights versus flights above 80,000 feet. That's so dumb. Yeah, it's tough. Fortunately, I am not in the price range to be going to space. I might be in the price range to go to Austin, though. I've got like a cajillion miles I just can't use. They've just been piling up. Oh, there was a comment on the first flight about how crowded it was. Okay, thank you, David. I will defer to the expertise of those who are on board. That makes a lot more sense. Glenn has no plans to reuse the second stage. They do now. Okay. Do you think FAA will approve the new rocket? Yes. It's just paperwork. Just paperwork. Brian Rashetsky has a Kia Soul EV. I haven't had a chance to ride in any of the electric Kias, but I've seen reviews, and all the reviews are reasonable. Well, in 2016, that's a while ago, so disappointing, but the best car I've ever had. That's a fantastic review, considering I assume Kia's been working on it in the meantime. The FAA is likely to approve the Blue Origin rockets. They do things the government way, slowly with lots of paperwork. They do love their paperwork. When I worked at a bank, we had a form that you had to sign called the Paperwork Reduction Act disclosure, and it was literally an extra piece of paper telling you that we're using less paper. We also had a fun one called the signature verification page, where you had to sign that this is your signature. I don't know how that was legally binding. Oh, boy. Wanted to do somersaults, but there wasn't enough space. Yeah, okay. That's not good. Not good. Oh, Rob says, I actually kind of dig the look of the Rivian pickups. You know what, Rob? I did not like them at all prior to the Cybertruck. And then when I saw the Cybertruck, which I hated, the Rivian really warmed up to me. And now to me, it looks like just a regular old pickup. A more modern take on a pickup. That's more along the lines of what I was expecting from Tesla. But now I also like the Cybertruck, in case you guys couldn't piece that together. Blue Origin has lost 17 high-level people, and some went to SpaceX. Yeah, but that's normal. That's normal. I wouldn't be concerned about it. I don't think. I haven't seen anything that would lead me to concerns, because it's a small industry and people change companies. And I assume SpaceX at some point has lost people to Blue Origin and others. Changing companies isn't that big of a deal. Which legacy OEM will lose more market share this decade? Well, I can tell you this year it's probably going to be Ford, because they keep having to close their plants. But I would say one of the smaller guys, maybe like Suzuki or Subaru, because they have their niches, but the fact that they're so well established and still so small, it's tough to say. Also, Honda, with their half-hearted efforts at EVs, I don't know, man. I love New Mexico and I love Virgin Galactic. Brian, I actually went out to Truth or Consequences on my tour. I don't think I put that one together yet. I don't think I did. If not, I don't think I did. I really did that tour. Yeah, Brian, I do plan to come to Austin. And of course I will see you there. Of course I will. I didn't understand that Sierra Nevada was so well established and big. I appreciate all you guys correcting me on that. Thomas, thank you. And the Osmonds are the other space power couple. As a snowboarder and mountain climber who grew up across the street from oil refineries, the Cybertruck was made for me. First Cybertrucks delivered when? I'm thinking Q2 at the earliest. That's my guess, because I believe that part of the building they're working on right now is where it's going to be built. I could be wrong. It could be in that massive area that they just put a roof over. But even still, Brian Rashetsky was speculating it could be out by Christmas. Starting to feel like that might not make it. Yeah. Did anyone see, by the way, there was a tweet that came out today. The first Model Y has been produced at Giga Austin, at Giga Texas. Tesla Owners Club tweeted it out. Joe Tetmeyer tweeted it out. I'm always careful on those because I get it on my Patreon, and I don't want to, I don't want to shoot Joe Tetmeyer in the foot on his exclusives. He gives those to us as customers, not as competitors. I've asked him in the past, and he's always said yes, but I'm here to make friends, my friends. Yeah, first Cybertruck's delivered early 2022. Maybe, David. I hope so. Yeah, Charlie, just pick the right Christmas. Just pick a Christmas, and you'll always be pleased how Santa treats you. Okay, well, let's see what time it is. 8:26. Yeah, we can. So if there's a couple more questions, I can hang out for a little bit. I am going to give a quick thank ya to my Patreons, who, of course, make this magic happen. Welcome to James Aspinwall. And there was another one who just signed up just before I went on. And that name is, so exciting. Oh, I'm sorted by the wrong thing, for crying out loud. Teresa Schwartz. Thank you, Therese. Welcome at the very cool level. And James Aspinwall at the very cool level. You guys are very cool. So let's take a look at the questions, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, David, I don't think that the walls were meant to exactly look like the Cybertruck. I think they were meant to be reminiscent of it based on the angle of the roof, or the angle of the windows. Just to put it in your head, but not totally outright do it. Yes, we are waiting for the 4680s. You can make the Model Y without them. I don't believe you can make the Cybertruck without them. Thank you, 420, for being here. Thank you for the pre-show comments, and for, let's not spoil the surprise on how we're measuring the factory this week. But it's 420 gave me some good ideas on how I should measure it. Not by Walmart's, not by Ikea's, not by football fields or acres or hectares. Something much, much sillier. Tesla as a retail power supplier. Oh yes, it's on like Donkey Kong, my friend. Look up Gambit Energy. I did a video a while back called Tesla's $47 billion bet on energy. And it's all about that. It is not speculation. It is happening. It is already built, and it is coming online. And that's going to be a profit center, considering how much money they made in Southwest Australia. Not Tesla, but the utility. This is a no-brainer. Tesla bot Tam is in infinite space. Hey, Tesla bots, yeah, now who's the clever robot? Huh? Maybe we'll see a Cybertruck inside the Cybertruck-looking walls. All sounds like a plan to me. Alrighty, gang. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. What a fun Friday evening. Oh, this is getting more and more fun every time, and I absolutely love doing this. I'll be back next Friday. And of course, it's the weekend, so I got stuff to do. And it looks like this longer latency worked in terms of not interrupting my stream. So, good times. Thank you guys all so much. What did I miss or misunderstand? Bananas. What did I miss or misunderstand? Leave me all your clever brilliance in the comments below, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and